How to pick the right weight. Stop guessing your reps. The number one thing is importance of good form. I don't care like how heavy your weight is or how much you can lift. If you can lift 1,000 pounds, I don't really give a shit. What's going to be more important is your form and technique for the exercise. As a natural lifter, you got to focus on form and technique in order to get the most bang for your buck out of the actual exercise. If you want to be efficient with the exercise, if you want to waste time doing the exercise, then focus on good form. So if your form's not great for a specific exercise, there's tons of different ways you can improve it. Number one, hop on a YouTube video. Just do a quick search like blah, 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 bench press perfect form tutorial. Boom. There you go. Squat tutorial. Boom. Deadlift tutorial. Boom. You can try that. If you want a more hands-on approach, find a workout partner who knows what they're doing. Ask them for help. If you don't have a workout partner, you can always go around your gym, look for the biggest guys there, look for the guys who look like they know what they're doing, and you can ask those guys for help as well too. Pretty much like 9 out of 10 times, those guys will be happy to help you, because anytime a big guy gets approached by a smaller person and they're like, hey, can you help me with like, how do I do this? How do I do that? 10 out of 10, like probably 10 out of 10 times, like those guys are going to be happy you came to them for help, because they've spent years gathering knowledge, and now I guarantee you they're happy to share like what they've learned. The role of a proper weight. You need to pick a weight that is both challenging but not too easy at the same time. And picking that weight kind of depends on what your rep scheme is for the day, or what your rep scheme is for that specific exercise you're working on. So like if you're doing like tricep push downs on the cable, you don't want to pick a weight where you can only do 4 reps. That's pretty crazy. That's too heavy. When you're doing a smaller muscle group like triceps, you want to pick a weight, anywhere between 10 or 20 reps, depending on how you're training for the day. So pick a weight that's going to be, where you can easily get to like 10, but getting to 20 might be a little hard. So you want to aim for if you're in between 10 and 20, aim for like 12, 13, 14 reps around there, and pick a weight that's good for that like rep range that you're going for. Now, if you're going for a heavier weight, like if you're doing bench press or something, and you're training like 5x5, then it would make sense to pick like a heavier weight for you. So pick a weight that's challenging. If you're not sure what to pick initially, then you can work up to it. So start slow, do a couple warm-up sets, and add weight progressively until you feel like you're at a weight that's could be considered your working set, where it's like the perfect weight for the rep range that you're aiming for. The importance of a good program. It's not just about picking the right sets, the right reps, and the right weight for your exercises as well too. It's about having a good overall program around that. You want to have a program that is specifically tailored for the physique that you're aiming for. So for example, if you're trying to build the V-taper physique with your program, and your program is telling you to do box jumps or agility ladders or Bosu ball lunges or something crazy like that doesn't really make sense. You want to make sure your program is specifically tailored and designed around the physique that you want. So like I said, if you're working on the V-taper, your program should have things like exercises that are going to build your delts up, like lateral raises, rear delt stuff, front delt stuff. You should have exercises that focus on forearms, traps, your triceps. Specifically, you want to have exercises that focus on widening your lats, pull downs, rows, all that type of stuff. So make sure your program actually has types of exercises that are going to build up exercises that will build up the muscles that you actually want. If you don't care about having big ass legs, then it doesn't make sense to squat every single day in your program. So be logical, think about what you're actually doing, and it becomes easier. The power of progressive overload. This is another thing. I don't care how good your form is now. I don't care if you pick the perfect weight or not. You could do all that stuff perfectly correct, but if you're not applying progressive overload to your training, you're not actually going to grow. So yes, you could have perfectly good form on your bench press. Yes, you could have a good weight, but if you're not trying to get stronger every time you go to the gym, you're not going to send any type of signal to your body or your muscles that they need to grow. So how can you actually implement progressive overload? Well, it's pretty simple. I'll give you 5 different ways. Number 1 is you can increase let me get back to where I was. You can increase your reps, you can increase your sets, you can increase the weights, you can decrease the rest periods, or you can perfect your technique and form. Any of those 5 perfectly fine. You can mix them up as well. If you can do more than one at one time, that's even better. But, try to add more reps, try to add more sets, try to increase the weights, make the weights heavier, Try to decrease the rest period between sets. So if you rest for a minute, usually try to rest for 30 seconds next time. And then the last one, perfecting your form. Just try to have better form and technique every time you lift. Lastly, the mental game of lifting. Well, this is not lastly, actually. Lifting can be pretty tough and it can get pretty hard. So as best you can, try to challenge yourself every single time you go to the gym. So try to pick weights, or try to pick weights that are challenging for you, but you don't want to burn yourself out. Like, you don't want to go, if you can't sustain going 10 out of 10 energy every single time you go to the gym, then it's okay to tone it down to 8 or 9 for a day. When you feel like you're not fully recovered or you don't feel 100% there, it's okay to tone your workout down and give your body some time to recover, and then hit it at a 10 out of 10 energy next time you go. Lifting, training, natural bodybuilding is not about going 10 out of 10 energy, balls to the wall every single time you go to the gym. It's more about consistency. You're going to get way better results if you just focus on consistency, focus on going to the gym, focus on not missing your workouts, focus on not missing your diet, staying on top of your nutrition, hitting your calories, hitting your protein every single day. And that's going to give you way better results than you trying to go balls to the wall, insane energy every single time you go to the gym, because if you do that, you're going to tire yourself out. You might burn out. You're putting yourself at risk for injury if you're not letting your body properly recover. So we've kind of talked about it. We kind of gave you the best way to pick a weight. Hopefully you guys learned. Like I said, pick a weight that's challenging for the rep scheme that you're going for, but it shouldn't be too hard, but it also shouldn't be too easy. And then the other thing too, like I said, don't forget to make sure that you're implementing progressive overload every time you go to the gym. So make sure you're trying to get stronger, and that's it. You'll do way better.